I always used to put on a video of coastable. And first of all, I really like how you explain things. They're so clear, they're so easy to understand, and it really helps a lot when I have to explain to some people how does an anti-rollback system work or how does a lift hill work. So sometimes I use the videos, and sometimes you help me fall asleep because your voice is ASMR to me.
You're too kind. You're way too kind. No, but that's what we made the videos for, really, was to
simplify things.
Yeah, because it's not easy, is it? Out there, no one else has really explained it that easily.
No,
so.
and with the pictures involved, everything you show how it works in a really easy way. I think it's really cool, and it really helps me to explain and to help other people tell it's safe to ride a roller coaster. It's fun to ride a roller coaster, but it's safe to ride. And
yes.
Yeah, that's really helping. So thanks for that.
Well, that's what we're trying to get as well.
Yeah.
We're trying to tell people that it should be, well, it is fun and it is safe. You know?
Yeah.
And the more people we get riding roller coasters, the better.
Yeah, but sometimes not, because then you have to wait in line longer. But
well, it all
True.
swings and roundabouts, right? If there's more people going to a park, the park makes more money,
and they can
hopefully
build new coasters. Yeah,
exactly. So swings and roundabouts. Sometimes the extra weight is worth it.
That's true.
So I think the best flow for this podcast is always just to randomly talk about stuff, and we'll ask you a few questions along the way, but we always start with the same first question, and Zoe's going to ask it now.
So, if you had free reign to create any coaster type with any theme, what would it be?
Oh gosh. Yeah, there are so many different coaster types, and I always, well, not hate it, but I don't think you can say there's one roller coaster or one type of roller coaster that's your absolute favorite. They all have their special little things, and I like a lot of roller coasters, but if I had all the power in the world and all the free time and all the money in the world, what kind of coaster would I create? I think, but maybe that's a little unfair because I'm so into it right now, it would be an RMC. But then make that the highest coaster in the world.
Oof.
When you see the pictures of the one they're doing in Florida right now with Gwazi, that lift hill looks
incredible,
so crazy. And if they can build it the highest coaster in the world, and it's a hybrid RMC, I think I would do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that one. Can you imagine like a 400 and whatever foot tall
with the same clunky lift hill making the incredible noise all the way up?
I think your neighbours would complain. Yeah.
Then they have to move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's their problem, isn't it? You've got a nice new ride. It's their fault. They're gonna deal with it.
That's true.
What about theme? Would you add a theme to it?
Not your typical theme park theme. I really,
Okay.
I'm getting a little tired of all the Western villages and we've seen that. We want to see new things, and I think that's something that I would do too. Maybe a very futuristic, but not in the way Disney does it with Tomorrowland, or how do you call it in well, you know what I mean, where Space Mountain is but really hyper futuristic with the newest techniques and with windows that disappear, from the Tron roller coaster. And really modern looking. I don't think there's an RMC who does that, and I think when you use the wide supports and maybe a silver metallic track, and then a hyper modern station around it with all kinds of effects, with screens, I think I would go for that.
I think you're onto a winner.
I want to go for that now.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds really good. There's not really too many RMCs that are themed generally, but adding, that kind of futuristic theme, I think would work really well, yeah. Nice. Perfect.
I'd love to.
That's a really good answer.
So am I getting the pot of money now, or?
Well, if you keep going like this, you'll be winning the jackpot, but we'll see. So we want to talk about, for people who don't know who you are, Scott. We know who you are, right? But who are you for everyone else listening?
Well, my name is Scott Bravenboer. I'm from the Netherlands. I live in Dronten. That's 12 minutes away from Walibi Holland, where I work. And my job there is I work on the events and production department, which means that I get to, of course, together with my colleagues in the same team, we get to come up with all the events we do in the park. We get to produce those events. like the grand opening ceremony of Untamed, like the Halloween Fright Nights. That's my job. That's what I do, and I also love to host coaster enthusiasts when they visit the park. So you visited before.
We did.
Coaster Studios visited before. The Coaster Kids visited.
I have to say, it was a really incredible day. Yeah, it honestly was. One of the best days at a theme park I've ever been.
That for me goes the same. It's always fun to hang around with other coaster enthusiasts. When you're working in the park and you have the privilege to do something like that, that's really awesome to provide you guys with that. I know how much fun it is when you visit the park and you get something extra or special, and it doesn't have to be a big thing like an exclusive or something, but writing your name on a piece of wood of the roller coaster. How stupid is that? But it's so fun to do, but no one else understands. When I tell my mother something like that, she's like, "Why is that so fun?" Well, you never understand, Mom.
No, as you said, it's the privilege of the park, taking the time out to recognise that you're really into this and they're really into this, and it's just a nice relationship to have. Yeah,
and I think at Walibi there are a lot of coaster enthusiasts working at the park, because it's such a big draw when you see the rides. It's especially a coaster enthusiast park. Did you met Mark? I think you did. He's also
I'm not very good at names.
No, well he's a guy. He also has an Instagram account. Coaster. It's in English. It's coastering with Mark, and in Dutch it's coasteren met Mark. Well, and he's traveling all the world to ride roller coasters. He has to he has to convince his girlfriend sometimes to travel with him. But that's.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, but you love it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then it's fine.
Exactly.
So a lot of people like me, like Mark, are working at Walibi, and I think that's what makes it so great, being there every day with those people. It doesn't feel like a job.
Yeah.
Well, that's perfect then, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Exactly what you want.
But they pay me money, so that's also a positive point.
True.
Well, there you go. Can't argue with that.
So when did you actually start working in the theme park industry or at Walibi? Was Walibi your first place, or?
Yeah, it's my first place, and it's my my go-to for long years, the longest possible period to come. But that's 18 years ago. I started voluntarily, actually, on the Halloween Fright Nights, which then were called Halloween Horror Fest, and I was voluntarily working there, painting the walls of a very small haunted house black, and that's what I started with, because that was the park just transformed from Walibi Flevo to Six Flags Holland. And that was a very special moment. You had all the commercials on the television. Walibi Flevo is transforming into Six Flags Holland, new roller coasters, and that was so impressive to see on television. And that was when the internet really came about. When you had internet forums like themepark.nl, they posted pictures of the construction of all the new rides, and that really got me hyped for that park. Mm-hmm. And so I got to work there voluntarily, as I told you. And I just sticked around. That's how it all started. My first actual day when I worked there with a contract and getting money for it was as a write-up for Goliath. So that was the
very
good
nice.
one.
Yeah, the good one. I like that. It is a good one. I must agree. Wow, I think you kind of like just fall into the job, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. And I always loved going to fun fairs and small theme parks, because I lived, when I was a kid, I lived near Rotterdam. There was a small theme park called Drievliet. We went there all the time, and they had one of those Wild Mouse roller coasters. And that was one of the first roller coasters I did. And I grew up with riding roller coasters, and it was never scary to me. My mom was always, "No, you can do this. Here, come on." And they put me down close to restraint, and there we go. So it was never a scary experience, but it was always fun. So I always loved roller coasters and theme parks, and I made my job out of it. Yeah.
You did. Yeah, I think it's a similar story for me, not in terms of working at a theme park, but more with how I got into rides. You know, my parents would always just take me to theme parks, and I can never remember being scared of them.
No.
Unlike Zoe, who was terrified until a few years ago.
Yeah.
It's really interesting that often the people who are just brought up with theme parks just seem to love them.
Yeah.
And if you're not, then you just don't really care.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, of course. I think that's with a lot of jobs. When your parents are having a company or working at a bakery for some reason, the chances are so big you get to work at a bakery. But my parents actually had a very boring job. Or, well, I don't know if I can say it like that. But my mom worked at a bank, and my dad worked at something in government. So it were really boring jobs. And when they had their days off, we got to do fun things like going to a theme park and because they need to get their excitement not from their job but from something else, I guess.
Yeah.
And that was theme parks.
So what other theme parks did you go to as a kid?
Oh, a lot. I really went to Drievliet a lot. We went to Duinrel a lot.
Oh yeah.
And when I got a little older, there were bus trips to Disneyland. I did that I think 10 or 15 times or so. And then when I started working at then Six Flags and now Walibi, actually the first year I worked there, we went with a group of like 21 colleagues and we flew to Orlando and we did all the parks there for a month. So that's, and my parents wanted to go as well. So that was a great experience. So but I think the park I visited the most ever in my life, that's maybe fun to think about. Well, when I'm not counting Walibi, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I think that has to be Drievliet.
Mm.
I haven't been there for like 8 years now, but
yeah. But you went so much as a kid that
and it was normal to go there. It was of course it was special to ride roller coasters, but it was not really something special anymore to go. Oh, what are we doing this afternoon? Oh, we're going to Drievliet. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
It was really normal.
It was the same for me, honestly. With I don't know if you've heard of Drayton Manor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I used to live 20 minutes away, and when I was a kid, we had annual passes.
Cool.
So we'd go just for the afternoon, and then, as you said, it became normal to go to just Drayton Manor for the afternoon, ride on the rapids, and go on the pirate ship.
But it's still fun to do the same rides over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
If it's so normal, you go with later on when you get older, you go with friends, and it's fun again, and you have a different experience when you were a child, and it's constantly changing. And of course, when you go to a park that much, you get to know all the employees that work there. Mm-hmm. And for me, that was something special when Six Flags opened, because in the first year it opened, I was too young to work there, so I went there a lot as a visitor, and I got to know a lot of people who work there, and they were so nice, and it's so fun to work here, and tonight they told me what they were going to do after work with each other, and I thought, that's what I want to do, and so I rolled into it. It must have been quite surreal to have seen the transition from, I can't remember what Walibi Holland was called before it was Six Flags Holland, but the year Six Flags Holland opened, where they added so many new rides. Yeah, that was
insane. I bet that was just crazy.
Yeah, as I said, that was the year that the themepark.nl website went online, and we saw all the pictures. That was just so crazy to see roller coasters like Superman the Ride.
Yep.
A launching roller coaster in the Netherlands. That's the first. We didn't know what that was and how that felt. So that was really impressive to see that coming to the Netherlands. And fun fact actually is, I talked to Wiebe. You have seen the making of Untamed. You have seen Wiebe, the guy with the mustache, and he was one of the project leaders for the transformation from Walibi Flevo to Six Flags. And he told me it was insane. It was such a crazy winter. You have to imagine, because the park was really small. You had the SLC was there, and the shop tower was there. And for the rest, it was just farming and plants and flowers, and that. The Mexican spinning hats were there already. But that was it. And in one winter, they had to transform the entire park to a Six Flags park. And maybe that sounds easy, because some of the Six Flags parks...
It doesn't sound easy.
Well, it wasn't. Till what he told me, I think that's a funny story. The day the park opened, So the very first day Six Flags opened, the few minutes before the gates opened, they still had to finish some pavement in the back of the park.
Oh my
So
God.
that's how stressful must have been. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing it happened.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Even though it didn't last for too long, but the impact it made on the roller coaster and theme park scene in the Netherlands and in Europe as a whole, it was definitely massive.
Yeah, it's crazy to have it here around the corner. I love it.
Yeah, of course. You mentioned the making of videos, and I absolutely love the making of videos, because as you said, with the forums and stuff, when you get to see the progression of the roller coaster, Untamed, slowly be built over a period of 9 videos, was it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
it's really cool. I think it's really awesome for a park to kind of show that level of dedication, to show they're going the extra step to put the content out there.
And it was so fun to make. When I first heard about Walibi building an RMC coaster, for the rest of the week I was not in shock, but I was in awe. I was like, my manager said, "What's happening? You're so rowdy. You're so squeamish. What's going on?" I said,
the same.
We're going to build an RMC coaster. She is a little bit of a coaster nerd, but I am the real coaster nerd in our office.
Yeah.
And then I explained to her, so look at this. This is Steel Vengeance, and look at this. This is the Wildfire roller coaster. This is what we're building. And then she was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." so it was that in the first place, that was amazing to hear about. We're building the roller coaster and working there, so I can see what's going on. I saw that with Lost Gravity as well. But for this one, it was really special. And then the marketing department, they just, I think it was just before my vacation, they called and they said, "Well, yeah, we're wondering, would you like to host the making of series?" And I was like, "Are we doing a making of series? That's cool." And I get to host it. Yes, of course I want to do that. So it was really awesome to do. And the enthusiasm you see in the videos, it's not an act or something.
Oh,
it's
totally
real,
know that. Yeah.
And it was so fun to, of course, to talk with Wiebe a lot, because he knows so much about the actual construction of rides and roller coasters. That's his job. He does that all over the world. And to become, I think I can say, become friends with some of the RMC guys and girls. That's really cool. They are also so passionate about their work, and that's really awesome.
They do seem like a great lot of people.
Yeah. My God! When you ever have the chance to meet Tina, she is the lady who prepares all the tools and all the bolts and everything on the ground. She is such a lovely, hardworking lady. That's incredible. She has a son back at home. Her husband was there with her. He's also worked on the project.
Oh, wow.
But they had to be away from home for more than half a year.
Oof.
Yeah, and when you live in America, you have to come here and only go back for Thanksgiving and for the Christmas holidays, and then come back to finish the roller coaster. Yeah. Well, that's dedication.
It is. Yeah. But it all pays off, right? I mean, they must love doing it.
Yeah, they were so proud when we topped off the lift and when we closed out the track. They all had a big smile on their face, and they were really proud of their work. And they should be.
Oh, definitely. I think Untamed, as you said, the moment everyone knew about RMC Robin Hood, I think everyone went a bit crazy because it was such a surreal thing for Walibi Holland to just be like, we're building this now. And it was like, what?
It came out of the blue,
Exactly.
When I heard about we're doing this for the first time, we do in the winter when the park is closed, once a month we do winter lunches with all the employees who work there during the winter months as well. And every month another manager or director is telling something about their department. And also Masha, the general manager of the park, she says, "Well, okay, we're changing this in the park, and we're having that, and we're going to do this a little different. We had a good year, we had a bad year," all those stuff. And all of a sudden I was there with my sandwich, and I was honestly not really paying attention about everything that's being told, because Yeah, I was hungry. And then there's one more thing. Actually, a little Steve Jobs moment. We're going to rebuild the Robin Hood roller coaster. We're working with a company that's called RMC, and it's a crazy coaster. And I was like, wait a second, are we really? I really almost choked on my sandwich, and then all the people around me were like, well, yeah, that's really cool, but why are you so why are you so happy and why are you so hyped about it? Because I knew what's coming, and immediately after the lunch I went to Masha, how many inversions, how high is it gonna be, what's the speed gonna be, and then she already told me it had 5 inversions, but we had to keep that a secret until the one of the last episodes of the making of, and I think that's the biggest power of doing the making of in this way, instead of saying like a lot of Six Flags parks do, well, we're building this coaster, this is the layout, here's a POV, there you go, and now you have to wait 5 or 6 months to ride it. Then the hype is gone. So I really love the fact that we did it little by little, and in the last episode you saw the complete thing. I think that's what makes it it really cool.
I definitely agree. I think if you give everything away at the start, there's no room to speculate, and when there's room to speculate, people get, I think, a lot more interested.
Yeah,
because everyone's trying to be like, oh, what's this going to be? What's that going to be? With the 270-degree double inverted corner stall or whatever it's called.
Very well.
People are like, oh, what's this element going to? What's this one of a kind inversion going to be like?
Yeah, and the other way around as well, because of course we read all the comments, and I love to go on Twitter and Instagram and everything to see what people are thinking. And I was like, oh God, I really hope they don't start talking about zero G stall. Because we're not having the zero G stall, we're gonna have something so much better than that. And then of course it started, oh yeah, that must be a zero G stall, that must be a zero G stall. And I was a little stressed out. I was like, oh no, I hope we don't disappoint. But the 270-degree double inverted corner stall really makes up to it.
It's such a name.
Who
came up with that name?
That's Alan Shoki.
Really?
Yeah, he does all the naming of the elements. I never met the guy. I never talked to him. But when I see what he does and what he can come up with, that's
he's a genius, right? He's a genius.
He is.
The element naming, maybe not so much, but the layouts and the track profiling, it's crazy. He is remarkable.
Yeah,
for sure.
And he loves. Have you seen the video of him when he was riding Steel Vengeance over and over again?
Oh yeah.
It was
he loves it. Yeah.
Yeah, he loves riding roller coasters, and I think that's important.
That's what it should be.
Yeah,
definitely.
How cool would it be that you build something in Planet Coaster or No Limits or so, and you can ride it in real life a few months after? That's your job. That must be amazing.
Yeah, it must be amazing. Now we're actually coming to Walibi Holland.
We are
this year, so
Yay!
We're very much looking forward to riding Untamed.
Yes.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Because I'm still kind of glad that I rode Robin Hood just to kind of get on Vekoma wooden coaster, try it out.
Yeah, there are actually there are 3 only. Well, now 2, but
2. Yeah.
So, I know the second one is in Belgium, and I really don't know where the third one.
Oh, is. Some other European country. Yeah, I'm not too sure, but no, I think I'm glad I got to ride it. But then
well, now you see the comparison.
I don't think there's going to be a comparison.
No, exactly.
It looks incredible, and I'm really glad actually. And this is something that I'm glad Walibi Holland is doing as a whole. Is you put more effort into theming the ride, and yesterday was it that Walibi Holland announced the retheming of Goliath and a few other attractions.
Yeah.
And I think not a lot of parks are willing to do that, but I really love when they put effort into improving areas and making them look better and feel better. And it's such a joy to do. And I don't get involved with all of the projects, and I don't know what it costs and anything, but obviously it costs a lot of money to do that, but when you see the end result and when you see people enjoying those new areas, for example, it was really hard to explain what is wilderness, and still till today it's really hard to explain what is wilderness until you have been there and you've seen it. You feel the vibe, you hear the music, you see the scenery, and it all comes together, and then you're like, that's what they're trying to do. And I think that's what makes
our rebranding. Well, it's not a rebranding, but retheming so strong and special. We're not trying to be another theme park decoration area. We really try to be different, and we try to do that with everything that we do. So
I definitely think that's the way forward, honestly, because as you said at the start, everyone has these generic themes.
Yeah.
And the best parks, in my eyes, are the parks that try and come up with
something different,
something just crazy. You know, like I think one of the best parks for this is Alton Towers. The themes that Alton Towers come out with.
Yeah, I've never been there. I really, really want to go there one day.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a visit.
Yeah,
but
I've been to Thorpe Park recently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I saw. What did you?
We went there to see their Halloween nights. But of course there are roller coasters, so I was like, we of course we're going to see Halloween, but I'm riding roller coasters. So I did Stealth for the first time. That was incredible. That launch is so forceful. I love it.
It is, remarkably forceful.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I can imagine, because I really want to go to see the point. I can imagine how Top Thrill Dragster would be. That must be so cool.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I went to that Thorpe Park. Actually, that was my first UK park I visited ever in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was your favourite ride at Thorpe?
Oh, that must be Stealth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the I forgot the name, the B&M Invert.
The Nemesis Inferno.
Yeah, Nemesis Inferno. I like it when to look at it. It's really pretty to see. But riding it was not forceful enough for me, I guess. It was a little
You need to get yourself on the real Nemesis.
Yeah. But they stopped doing the pink water.
They did.
Yeah,
I know.
I read that somewhere
a while ago. Quite sad. The reason for it is a bit of a shame, but but no, it's interesting. It must have been weird trying a UK park.
First of all, it's weird to drive on the wrong side of the road. I don't know how you get used to that ever. A roundabout is crazy when you do it mirrored.
Well, I'll let you know, because we're going to be driving in the Netherlands. So,
well, good luck. We have double roundabouts and everything, so good luck with that.
Brilliant.
We've been on a 5 roundabouts. It's 5 small roundabouts
in the UK
that make up one
I've
roundabout.
Seen that.
Yeah.
Oh, that must.
Swindon.
Yeah, I close my eyes, pedal to the metal, and just hope for the best.
Just pray.
Yeah.
I think I liked Stealth best, the Nemesis Inferno second, and then the next ride I loved. It's not really a ride. It was a Halloween attraction. That was the newest maze they did with the lumberjack theme. That was a cool house. Yeah, that was cool.
Massacre.
Chainsaw Massacre, was it that?
Something.
No,
Creek
was it
Freak.
Creek Freak Massacre?
Yeah, Creek Freak.
I think that was it, something like that.
Creek Freak Massacre was very good.
And it was all back behind the Colossus roller coaster.
Yes. Yeah, I thought that was really good, really fun. I think we're going to have to one day try out Walibi's horror attractions. They look, the whole event just looks insane. Right?
I don't think I'd make it out alive. I'm very scared of these things. So I think it'd be just you, Harry.
Well, I'll take one for the team.
Yeah, you'll have to.
No, it's really fun. It's a really great event, and we're working on it year round. We start working on next year during the event of this year.
Oh yeah.
So it's crazy. It's really cool to see what I just said about Alan Shilkey making his roller coaster and then riding it.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what we get to do with Halloween. We get to come up with something, then produce it, and then when it's October, we get to enjoy it ourselves and see other people enjoy it. That's really great.
So you work on creating some of the mazes and some of the...
Yeah. Together with I work in a team of 4 with Joyce, Bianca, and Sebastian, and the 4 of us, we are the production company within Walibi. Actually, if you explain it that way, and we get to come up with all the weird Halloween stuff, and then we get to build it. So that's really cool.
I bet, yeah.
Dream job.
Yeah. Wow. No,
I never imagined that when I started working there.
Yeah.
I was a ride operator, and when I was a ride operator, I was like, oh, this is so cool. This is what I'm going to do the rest of my life. And then it slowly became this job that I have now. So who knows what's coming.
I was going to ask about that. How did that transition occur? Was it just kind of like you were offered different things, or
it went? When I was a ride op in the first years, I was just a ride operator. Then they changed up something in the construction of where the planning of all the employees go. So there was a little combination between a costume character and ride operator. So you had to switch during the day. Then I had to do in the morning. I was a big hippo in the company. Yeah.
Wow.
And then I had to change and I had to operate the madhouse or the Ferris wheel. And then go back into the hippo suit again to do the kids show, and then back to one of the rides again. So I did that for a year, and I really enjoyed how stupid it maybe sounds to be a costume character. It's really fun to do. It's really hard. It's really you're sweaty, it's kind of gross, but it's so fun to do. You get to do things you normally can't do as a human being, and I really got the feel for the entertainment department then. And I got to host one of the shows then as a show host with a microphone, and that was for them the coolest thing I've ever done. And slowly talking with the guys from the entertainment department back then, and they let me host more shows, and they let me do more things for Halloween, and that's actually how it all came to be.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a slow process where you were looking out for... Because you often get people are always asking, how do I get into the theme park industry?
Yeah, well, of course there are we have a lot of schools here in the Netherlands who do the leisure management schooling. And of course you learn a lot there, but the real important things you only learn on the job. You have to experience... the things you do with a guest and how a guest reacts to that. You cannot explain that from a textbook. You have to be there in the field and you have to experience those kind of situations. And when you experience those situations enough, you know how to handle them the next time and make the experience even better. Because it always sounds a little in Dutch we would say zoetsappig. It sounds a little ugh when you say we're here to create a guest experience. But it really is. When you work at a theme park, and I think I can speak for all of my colleagues, when you work at a theme park, it's so incredibly cool to put a smile on someone's face by doing the smallest thing extra. Just saying, good morning, how are you? Oh, it's good to see you. It's those little things who make it so great to work at a theme park. And I don't think you see that, of course, you see that in hotels and other leisure establishments, but in theme parks that's the most important thing. We're selling when a theme park sells a ticket, it sells a ticket for the rides, but it also sells the ticket for the experience you get in the park. And I think those two things combined, and when you do those things really good, you're a good theme park.
No,
you can have the best rides and the most beautiful theming and whatnot, but if the staff is not happy and not smiling and not greeting you, you're not going to have a good day. So I think those two things are they both have to be top notch.
We always talk about like the atmosphere of a place as well, isn't it? That kind of has a massive impact on your day.
It really does. Yeah.
It really can make the difference when they serve you a hamburger, which is perfectly fine, but they just throw it on a plate and there you go. Or they say, here, enjoy your meal, bye-bye, have a nice day.
Yeah.
It really makes the difference. It's so easy, but
it does.
Try that telling to the people at the supermarket, right?
Well, a bit of a different atmosphere from a supermarket to a theme park, right?
That's why I use the self-scanning thing.
Yeah, well, so don't we all? It's just easier.
So we have some questions that people have actually sent in for you. The first one, what's the best theme park moment you've ever experienced?
That's a difficult one.
It is. Oh, gosh.
It's a bit vague as well, actually.
For me, well, then maybe I have to give two answers. For me as a guest somewhere and one working there.
Yeah, that's good.
I think the best theme park... What was the exact question again?
So, what's the best theme park moment you've experienced?
There are so many. I think that must have been... Wow, no, maybe that's... Oh, that's a difficult one. One of the best experiences I had was at Universal Studios. We were in the Orlando one, and one of the rides with of course you know because you're a theme park nerd as I am, the Mummy ride, the indoor roller coaster. Yeah. We were standing in line for like 45 minutes to an hour, and then it broke down. We all know that happens, and they have to evacuate the queue area, and there you go. But it was our last day there, and I really, really, really wanted to ride that ride. So I was like, no, please, we're going home tomorrow. And then one of the employees said, oh no, I'm really sorry, we really can't help it, we have to evacuate, but wait a second. And then we waited a second, and he came back with a little, I don't know what it was a paper note booklet, something, and he gave us like those fast pass things they have there for the rest of the day for both parks.
Oh wow!
And that was one of the cool experiences. He didn't have to do that, but he understood how bad I wanted to ride the rides, and and he gave the thing. So that made the rest of the day really cool. So I think that's one of the special moments I get to experience as a guest. As employee at the theme park, I think the most, and that sounds a little silly, but that's a bit of an emotional experience. That was when we opened one of our haunted houses for the first time. It was Jefferson Manor. The first people that came out of that house, I was standing there at the exit, and everyone was running and screaming, and there was a girl running out crying, and there were like 10 people on a row. The first 10 people are all screaming and crying, and that was a moment for me. I was like, holy fuck, we did this. Oh, can I you have to beep that out. We built this, we did this, we created this emotion for those people, and that's that really was special to me. And then I had to I walked around the corner to backstage, and I had a little teary eye, and then my colleague Sebastian was just coming around the other corner and said, what are you doing? I said, nothing, just let me for a moment. So that was really special.
I can imagine.
Mad.
Yeah. Well, because you've built this, and then you see that it's working exactly as you want it to.
Yeah, that's really crazy. And of course, everything. There are so many moments I got to experience as an employee in a theme park. Building Lost Gravity and seeing the thing. It's a prototype. It's a Big Dipper coaster, how they call it, and for the first time seeing that, it's really cool. Being a part of Untamed, the whole construction, that's really cool. And there are so many moments that I think I never forget.
Definitely.
One thing we haven't asked you, which everybody always wants to know, is what's your favourite ride?
Well, of course, my two favorite rides are now in Walibi are Untamed and Goliath. Those two are my favorite.
Good choices.
To ride, to operate not. To operate, my favorite ride is a Haas Magic. It's like a breakdance, but the inverted one.
Okay, yes.
Because you have the control panel, it's
and you
all
can do it manually.
and that's so fun to do.
I can imagine. Yeah,
when I operate a ride, I always love to go there. It happens sometimes when we missing an employee in the park or someone got sick. I'm around the corner, so I can help wherever I can. But if I don't count Walibi, that's more difficult. I think there are a few. I really love Alpengeist.
Oh yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
I love looking at the Incredible Hulk coaster, because that's just when you're at there's a little area. I think I've been to Islands of Adventure too much to know this. There's behind the water ride with the Popeye theme.
Right,
there's a little area you can look out over the water and seeing the Hulk roller coaster, and you hear that B&M sound. That's really cool. I love to see that. I think those two. Am I forgetting one? I really love Montu as well. I like
So you're a big fan of inverts?
I think I do.
Yeah.
I think I do. When they are forceful, like Montu and Alpengeist. Yeah. I was almost graying out in the loops, and then I think, I love it. Then you feel you're alive.
Well, yeah. I know what you mean, yeah.
Of course, when you take a ride on Condor, you also feel you're alive, but in a different way. Yeah. But we're getting new trains, right?
I know. Those are the Vekoma trains, right?
I don't know the MK12 something.
The new gen ones.
Yeah, and they're pink. Come on.
I know. That's just the reason for having them, really, isn't it? Just the fact that they're pink. No, I think that will really help, actually.
Mm-hmm. We did the tests with those seats. I think it was 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
They changed one of the seats on the train, and it really makes a difference. Because you don't have the pads next to your head. It's like the same trains we have on Speed of Sound.
Yes.
But then the invert one, so you're you're really free to move around, and it makes the experience so much better.
You're just not banging your head around, which is the main problem.
No, it really makes the ride fun again.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Someone, when I posted it on my social media, because in your promo you have like 3 cars on the train.
Oh yeah.
Someone was like, "Is there only going to be 3 cars now?"
No, that fitted just right on Instagram.
Yeah.
There are more cars behind it.
I assume so, right?
Yeah.
It was just just a funny question.
I don't think when you only have 3 seats it would make the complete track. I don't think it would work that way.
True. Yeah, it probably won't actually. Yeah, you're right. It probably doesn't have enough momentum behind it.
No, I don't think so. Huh?
We got another question for you. Quite an interesting one. And hopefully you'll know this off the top of your head. What's your coaster count if you count coasters?
No, I don't count coasters. I started counting rides on specific rides. For example, Lost Gravity. I'm at 200 and wait a second. It's in my phone. I thought I ended the conversation there. No, I didn't. Nope. Lost Gravity is 243. And nice. Untamed is... Where is my Untamed count? 103.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mental.
Yeah. And that was... Actually, I almost didn't make the 100 rides on Untamed this year. But luckily we had, after the season was over, we had one special day. So it had to run again. So I was like, I need 4 more. So I was there all by myself doing the last 4 rides to get to 100.
That's
but my total coaster count, I don't count roller coasters. When I go to a theme park, I'm going there to to learn something or to just enjoy myself. And I don't want to have to note all the roller coasters. Some people out there, they ride those worm roller coasters where you go through the apple on they
wacky
count
worms,
and they have to ride that for a coaster credit. No, thank you.
Cheating, right?
Yeah, and I don't want to ride those things. Then I want to sit on a chair with a glass of wine and yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. No, I can really understand that. You get some people who will rush to ride all the children's coasters, but we're not usually like that.
We count, but we don't.
Don't get me wrong. I get it. I get when you want to ride all the roller coasters. Yeah. When that's your thing, go for it. But that's not my style.
Yeah, it's not us either. We'd rather ride the
good ones.
The good ones, or as you said, just take in the atmosphere, sit back and watch people and watch the rides go around.
Yeah, I love that as well. Especially love it when I go to Europa Park. That place is so incredible to just ride a few rides and then go to one of the bars and or one of the restaurants and just sit there and having the views. That's really cool.
I think the final question we've got, which we've already touched on, but I think a recap, because probably people are very interested, is what do you think the best way to start working in the theme park industry is?
Just go for it. Start down the ladder and do your best to climb up that ladder. That's the only piece of advice I can give. Always do your best. Always put on your smile, even if you're feeling down. Always put on a smile, and go for it. And don't forget to tell people around you what you want to do, what you want to achieve. So if you're working on a small Ferris wheel and you don't like to work the Ferris wheel, you want to go to the bigger roller coaster, don't start complaining about how bad it is at the Ferris wheel, but start talking about how awesome it would be to operate the big roller coaster. And tell people around what you want to do, what you want to be. Oh, next year maybe I could be this. Oh, next year I want to do that. And tell it to the people, because there's a Dutch saying again: wie vraagt wordt overgeslagen. Who asks gets skipped. That's the literally translation. But if you don't ask or if you don't tell, no one knows what you want. So please tell people what you want to do, and always do your best and put a smile on your face.
No, I think that's very, very wise advice.
And of course, as I said, there are so many schools teaching event management and leisure management, and there is no school in the world who is going to teach you how to be the best theme park worker. You learn that at the theme park. So just go work there on whatever position, if that's in a kitchen, if that's a ride operator, or if that's in a gift shop or something. That really doesn't matter. You have to start somewhere, You're not a general manager on day one.
No, of course not. That theme park wouldn't go very well, would it?
No. It's all fun and games in Planet Coaster, but the real thing is something different.
Yeah, definitely. We touched upon this as well, but to round it out, what new stuff is coming to Walibi Holland this year that you can talk about, obviously.
Yesterday we had that's called the Welcome Back Day for all the seasonal employees. So we got to show some of the things we're doing now in Speed Zone. We had little sneak peeks posted online as well. So that's what we're doing. It's always there's no one from the marketing department who I can look at and shake my head yes or no. What I can tell yes or no. But we're going to do a lot of fun things with Halloween as well.
Perfect.
And that's not actually one thing. There are a lot of things. One of my jobs is to create extra experiences who are not advertised per se. So when I see next week it's going to be like 30 degrees, let's do a big foam party, or we're going to have a lot of children on that day. Okay, you know what? We have those, maybe you've seen the pictures, we have that boring little train driving around the park. We put a DJ on it and we put a big bubble machine on it with a lot of sound, and then we make it a party train. Those things I really love to
make all the difference, as you said before. Yeah,
and it's really fun to do. And that's sometimes when I feel like I am in Planet Coaster or Roller Coaster Tycoon. Like, you have a whole theme park. What do you want to do inside of it? Yeah, I want to make it a party train. It makes it fun. And and then when it really works, it's even cooler to see there's a huge line for the stupid train when nobody ever wants to ride the train, and then they do. So that's really cool to do.
No, I really appreciate that. Actually, I think more parks should be doing that.
Yeah,
you know.
And I appreciate I get to do that. You know, it costs money, and the management, they need to say, go ahead, do it. So that's really cool.
What about with you? Is there any trips planned for this year that you're especially excited for?
Not 100% planned yet, but there are plans of me and Wiebe going to Energylandia.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, and there are some, but it's I really want to go to Cedar Point, but you know, when Cedar Point is open only that short amount of time, and when it's busiest at our park as well.
Yeah.
So we have to see if we can fit that in, but I really, really want to go there for I think 3 days, and then drive off to is that Kings Island or Kings Dominion, which is next to Cedar Point?
Island. I think it's Kings Island.
Kings Island. And then I want to make the trip there because it's so close. And that's what I want to do.
Both of those trips would be awesome.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of people are wanting to go to Energylandia.
Yeah. It's crazy what they're doing there.
Yes.
They're building ride after ride after ride.
Yeah, literally. The speed that the rides are going up
it's mad.
Is impressive, to say at least. Yeah.
I'm really curious how that works, how they make the money, what their vision is.
Isn't
it the government?
They're partially funded by the EU scheme. So
you're not part of it anymore, right?
But well, no, we're not. No. Well, it's complicated, right?
We're still connected by train, so that's fine.
Yeah,
this is very true. We're never going to leave Europe, are we?
That would be difficult.
It would be very difficult. No, but I think their rides were partially funded up until a certain point. I don't think that is any
not anymore.
After this ride, whatever it's called, I forget, the new Vekoma.
The leg coaster, or was it somewhere else?
Zadra?
No, not Zadra. They're getting a new one. Abyss?
A new one.
Abyss or something like that? I can't remember what it's called now.
There's too many to keep up.
It's blue. That's all I can tell you.
I haven't seen that yet, I think. The last thing I saw was the black
Hyperion.
Hyperion, I think that's the last one I saw.
Then they got Zadra.
And now there's another one.
And now they're getting a launched new gen Vekoma.
Oh.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So that park's mental. But hey-ho.
And it's not that far away. You know, you can drive it by car. It's like 7 or 8 hours or so. So I would do that.
Go for it.
Okay, so our final question, which is the same for every guest, is if you had to pick one coaster to be your last ride ever, what would it be?
Untamed, definitely.
There you go.
That was quick.
That. You know what you want.
Yeah. It's such a great ride. You know, it and if it couldn't be Untamed, it has to be another roller coaster without trim brakes. Because I think trims are the stupidest things ever on a roller coaster. It's like the commercial break in a good movie. You're all tangled up in the movie.
Yeah.
And now you have a break. No.
Yeah.
No.
Fair enough. I didn't realize you dislike Trim so much.
I don't. I really don't. I love to watch the videos of maybe you've seen him, El Toro Ryan.
Yes.
Yeah, every time when you see a trim brake on one of the roller coasters, there's that shaking on the video and the noise. I think that's really funny.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, I think trims are disliked amongst every member of the enthusiast community, aren't they?
Yeah, and I get why sometimes they have to be there to
Yeah.
increase capacity if that's a good reason. But if it's not to increase the capacity, but they're just there to to make the ride work, then you didn't design the ride well.
I agree. I agree. So thank you for coming on.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Is there? Do you want to plug your Instagram or plug anything? We're all open.
No, yeah, of course you can. I love to post pictures of where I work from Walibi on my Instagram. That's ScottB9068, 9086, 9068. No.
1986.
Thank you, Harry. So you can follow me there, but obviously follow Coasterbot because as I said in the beginning, his videos are really amazing. And if you need to fall asleep, just turn on the videos on, close your eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And you wake up a lot smarter. Yeah.
Put a playlist on, so you watch like 10 hours worth of content.
Yeah.
As you said, maybe you'll subconsciously pick it all up.
Yeah, maybe you learn something along the way.
Exactly.
You wake up as a real roller coaster nerd.
And make sure you follow Walibi Holland as well,
Yeah.
and look out for Scott.
Yeah, there are a lot of fun things coming to the park, so stay tuned.
There we go.
Do you have a special closing like?
No,
we don't.
but you can give us one. Go on.
No, I don't know. I always say ahoy hoy.
There you go.